Okay, so I need to say this at the very beginning of the video. I'm not to be trusted. I get this information wrong all the time, and I am ashamed about that because we've made a bunch of videos over the past few days regarding this player, Ivan Demidov, and his situation in the KHL. And it seems like every time we make a video, I say something that's proven to be incorrect days later, and I apologize for that. I know y'all are in the comments going out there and correcting me. Believe me, I see those. But ultimately, this situation has gotten so much more weird that we need to talk about it one more time. I can't believe it's gotten to this point. Because Ivan Demidov, right now, is a 19-year-old who is the #1 point producer on SKA St. Petersburg. 2 games left to go in the regular season. He's got 49 points in 64 games. He's on pace for 51 points. So assume he gets 2 points in the remaining 2 games on the year. That is, if he plays the remaining 2 games of the year. He is the #1 guy on points on this team. Second on the team in points is Alexander Nikishin, who, by the way, is a defenseman. He's got 46 points on the year. Grigorenko's got 44, Plotnikov 43, Gritsyuk 43, and everybody else is there too. Demidov is literally the highest producing player on this team, and he is going to become a healthy scratch. Let's go out there and read this. Andrew Zardanowski went out there and said that Ivan Demidov will be a healthy scratch for SKA's next game, and head coach Roman Rottenberg insinuated that Demidov will remain a scratch for the playoffs. Demidov is SKA's leading scorer. Now, let's go out there and take a look at where I went wrong here. Demidov's KHL contract goes to May 31st, 2025. Not May 1st, like I had said the other day, May 31st. You know, it's kind of weird because I'm always thinking about these contracts like, yeah, when is it over? When can he sign with Montreal? When can he be brought over? And a lot of people are just saying, oh, May. I didn't know it was May 31st, guys. I apologize. I'm stupid. I'm really, really stupid. Demidov can, however, technically buy his way out early, before May 31st. The final regular season game for SKA is on March 22nd, and then the playoffs begin. SKA is not expected to go beyond the first round, given their historically bad season. Gee, I wonder why this season has been historically bad. It's almost like they have themselves a head coach who doesn't really know how to make the team win. Great. They should just release him then, Alex goes out there and says. The Russians are waiting for a big payout from the Canadiens. At this point, do like Philly did. Hand them a couple of millions and the Habs are going to remake that money the first day he is signed in Montreal. And then Zadornowski goes out there and says, yeah, NHL teams cannot pay to buy out contracts. It's against the CBA. The player can buy himself out, though, correct? Yes, if his early termination request is approved by the team, but I doubt that SKA will approve it. Might I remind you, last year Matvei Mishkov was allowed to have his contract terminated. SKA just kind of granted him that permission. For Ivan Demidov, though, it's a little bit of a different situation. He is signed on just till the end of this year. Mishkov was signed on for a few extra years, and there were already contentious things going on over there that allowed them to let him go and head over to the National Hockey League. Demidov, it seems like they're just going to hold on to him for as long as they can and not decide to play him in the playoffs because they're salty that he would not choose to re-sign with them in the first place. That's essentially what it feels like here, is it not? A reply from Marco D'Amico goes out there and asks, where was that insinuated? And Zadornowski goes out there and leaves the link. We're going to read this in a little bit. Marco was coming in clutch to correct Andrew. To correct Andrew, why do you assume that I was wrong or lying? I kind of take offense to that. Me asking you for a source is now a truth battle on Twitter, it seems. Everything must be conflict. This place is so stupid. And yeah, okay, that's the 2 Montreal Canadiens writers going out there and biting back at fans who are insinuating that this is a conflict in response. But let's go out there and read this article on Championat.com. Roman Rottenberg says, SKA will start the playoffs with the guys who are now with us on the trip. insinuating that Ivan Demidov, who is not going to be there, is not going to start the playoffs with the team. He's the number 1 point producer on the team. Really? Let's go out there and read this. SKA head coach Ronan Rottenberg said that the St. Petersburg club will start the playoffs with the same roster that it currently has on the road right now. SKA will play its next game against Avtomobilist in Yekaterinburg. The match will take place on March 20 and will begin at 5 p.m. Moscow time. Plotnikov, we need to talk to the medical staff. We'll start the playoffs with the guys who are on the trip right now. Elena Kuznetsova, a correspondent for Championship Reports, Rottenberg is saying, earlier, Rottenberg said that forward Ivan Demidov will not take part in the match against Avtomobilist. The young forward will train hard to get into shape for the playoff matches. So, it's interesting because it's saying here that he needs to train hard to get into shape for the playoffs, but Rottenberg says that we're going to start the playoffs with the same roster we've got right now, and that roster they have right now does not include Ivan Demidov. So, yeah. Very strange stuff going on here in the KHL, and it seems like the Canadiens may not get any solace unless Demidov himself requests to buy out the contract and it's approved. Let's talk about some positive news, though, to end off this video in regards to Montreal Canadiens prospects, because where one guy is going to be scratched and not played, we actually do have ourselves another who is coming back. It is David Reinbacher in the Laval Rocket lineup later tonight. And this is going to be a really big step in his own development for the rest of this season. Sneak peek at Reinbacher's jersey for tonight. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of bubble wrap. I think this is AI, is it not? Anyways, fans are going out there and trolling the heck out of this situation, but David Reinbacher is still a player, folks. He is only 20 years old, 6'2", 194, right-handed defenseman, signed on to an ELC. 5th overall draft pick by the Canadiens in the 2023 NHL Entry Draft. This season with Laval, he had 3 points in 6 games played. He had a really good sample with Laval so far in the limited sample from last year to this year. It's just the games played number has been so few and far between because of the injuries. Obviously, we hope that David Reinbacher is able to get back up to speed and use his hockey brain to make the right plays and to make just overall puck progressing plays for the Laval Rocket. I don't think anybody's expecting him to be a super high point producer at this stage, but the half a point a game mark is very nice for a guy who is only 20 and who has only played in, 14 hockey games total this season. It's been a very, very slow year for Reinbacher, but ultimately him coming back and solidifying himself as a prospect one more time, it's going to give the Laval Rocket some competition because there are quite a number of D-men on this team that do exist and that do demand minutes, from Logan Mailloux to Gustav Lindstrom, Hoffenmeyer's over there. They just traded for him, William Trudeau, not to mention David Reinbacher, who is going to be added on to this squad. So with that in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Firstly, about the Ivan Demidov situation and how things are getting weird for him in Russia, and how David Reinbacher is set to make his return with the Laval Rocket later tonight. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.